Some people look perfect on the outside. They look confident, successful, focused, and strong. But what you don't see is the truth behind their eyes. You don't see the nights they couldn't sleep, the moments they broke down, the mistakes they regret. You don't see the battles they fight in silence. And maybe you've wondered, why am I not like them? Why do I make so many mistakes? Why do I feel lost while others look so sure? Here's the secret nobody talks about. Even the most successful people you admire are imperfect. They struggle, they fail, they doubt themselves. The difference is not perfection. The difference is persistence. In this lesson from English Achieve, you will discover the powerful truth that nobody is perfect, and nobody needs to be perfect to create a great life. Your flaws are not something to hide. They are the beginning of your strength. Stay with me until the end, because once you understand this truth deeply, you will stop judging yourself, stop comparing yourself, and finally start becoming the person you were meant to be. Chapter 1. The Lie of Perfection. From childhood, many people are taught a quiet, dangerous belief that they must be perfect to be accepted. Teachers expect perfect grades. Parents want perfect behavior. Society celebrates perfect faces, perfect bodies, perfect careers. Slowly, without even noticing, this idea begins to grow inside your mind. You start thinking that good people never fail, strong people never cry, and successful people never make mistakes. So you hide your flaws. You hide your worries. You hide your real self. This belief becomes a heavy weight on your shoulders, a weight you carry into your teenage years and your adult life. It sits in your mind like a voice whispering, "Do better. Be better. Be perfect." And because of that voice, you begin to feel like you are never enough. But this idea is not real. It is not truth. It is a lie that many people believe without questioning. Look at every person you admire. Look at your favorite actors. Look at the most successful entrepreneurs. Look at the strongest leaders. None of them were perfect. They built their lives through mistakes, not through perfection. They grew by falling, not by flying. They learned by trying again and again, not by getting everything right the first time. But because the world only shows you their success, you forget their struggles. You forget that failure is part of every strong person's journey. The problem is not that you are imperfect. Imperfection is natural. Every human being is imperfect. The real problem is that you think you must be perfect before you start anything meaningful. You think you need more confidence before taking action. You think you need more skills before trying. You think you need the right moment, the right feeling, the right situation. And while you wait for perfection, your life stands still. Beautiful opportunities pass by. Exciting ideas fade away. You hold yourself back not because you lack ability, but because you fear making mistakes. And this fear becomes your biggest enemy. You avoid trying because you fear failing. You avoid speaking because you fear judgment. You avoid dreaming because you fear disappointment. This is how perfection destroys your growth. Not by making you weak, but by stopping you from moving. Your life becomes small, safe, controlled, and limited. But the truth is simple, my friend. Your imperfections are not a problem. They are normal. They are human. They are part of your story. The only real problem is your fear of them. The moment you stop worshiping perfection, the moment you stop demanding perfection from yourself, something powerful happens. Your mind becomes lighter. Your heart becomes free. You feel more energy, more confidence, more courage to try new things. You begin to see mistakes not as failures, but as steps. You begin to understand that every successful person walked through the same path you are walking now. If you let go of the need to be perfect, if you allow yourself to be a learner, a beginner, a growing human being, your entire life will begin to change. You will move forward. You will try more. You will grow more. And most importantly, you will finally feel alive. Chapter 2. The Hidden Strength in Imperfection. Most people believe that strength comes from perfection. They think that if you are flawless, confident, and unshakable, then you are powerful. They admire people who seem to have everything together. The ones who never fail, never make mistakes, and never show weakness. But this belief is not just wrong. It is dangerous. Real strength does not come from pretending to be perfect. Real strength comes from something far deeper: vulnerability, honesty, and the courage to keep going even after failure. When you accept your imperfections, something remarkable happens. You stop wasting energy trying to appear perfect. You stop wearing masks that hide who you truly are. Pretending to be someone else, pretending to have no fear or weakness, is exhausting. It takes more effort to maintain an illusion than it does to face your reality. But when you accept yourself, flaws and all, you feel lighter. You stop carrying the weight of impossible expectations. You start to stand tall in your truth, and that honesty is the first sign of true strength. Think about the people you find inspiring. Are they perfect? Probably not. They are inspiring because they were broken at some point. They made mistakes, faced failures, and confronted their fears. But instead of giving up, they rebuilt themselves. They learned lessons from their imperfections and used them as stepping stones to grow. This is the kind of strength that leaves a mark on the world. It is not flashy. It is not about looking flawless. It is about having the courage to face reality, admit your struggles, and rise again. That is what real power looks like. Many people make the mistake of thinking that admitting flaws is a weakness. They hide their mistakes, avoid challenges, and fear judgment. But hiding your flaws does not make you strong. In fact, it keeps you stuck. True power comes from embracing your flaws, understanding them, and using them to guide your growth. Each imperfection is like a signpost pointing to where you need to improve, where you need to learn, and where you can become better. Every mistake you make is an opportunity to discover strength you did not know you had. Your imperfections are also a mirror. They show you who you truly are. They reveal your fears, your limits, and your desires. By looking honestly at yourself, by understanding your weaknesses, you can build a life based on authenticity, not on an illusion of perfection. People who accept themselves inspire others not because they never fail, but because they demonstrate the courage to rise after failure. They teach us that mistakes are not shameful, weaknesses are not flaws, and vulnerability is not weakness. It is the pathway to becoming stronger than you ever imagined. So, the next time you feel ashamed of a mistake or embarrassed by a flaw, remember this: your imperfections are not your weakness. They are your guide, your teacher, and your source of strength. Embrace them. Learn from them. Grow beyond them. And you will find that the life you feared you could not live is waiting for you, stronger and more real than anything you imagined when you chased the illusion of perfection. Chapter 3. Everyone fails, even the best. Failure is one of the most misunderstood experiences in life. Many people fear it, avoid it, and even feel ashamed of it. They think that failing means they are weak, incapable, or unworthy. But the truth is the opposite. Failure is not a sign that something is wrong with you. Failure is a sign that you are alive. It is a sign that you are trying, learning, and moving forward. Every step toward growth involves risks, and every risk carries the possibility of failure. Without failure, there is no learning, no progress, and no true achievement. Look at anyone you admire. The most successful entrepreneurs, athletes, artists, or leaders. Every single one of them has a long list of failures behind their success. They tried something, it didn't work, and they tried again. Some failures were small, some were public, and some were deeply personal. Yet each one was a step toward mastery. They did not succeed because they avoided mistakes. They succeeded because they refused to give up after making them. They learned from their failures, adjusted their actions, and moved forward with more wisdom than before. This is how real progress works. The problem is that most people do not understand this. They see the success and the confidence of others and assume it came without struggle. They compare themselves to these polished images of achievement and feel inadequate. But here is the truth. The people who seem flawless are the ones who have failed many times. They have cried, stumbled, and struggled in silence. They are not different from you. They are simply persistent. They view failure not as a threat, but as a teacher. And that mindset makes all the difference. It is important to understand that the people who never fail are the people who never try. They stay safe. They stay small. They stay hidden. They never take the risks that lead to growth. Avoiding failure might feel comfortable, but it leads to a life of regret, limitation, and unrealized potential. On the other hand, embracing failure opens doors to opportunities, learning, and resilience. Every failure carries a lesson that can make you stronger, smarter, and more prepared for the future. Remember, failure is not the opposite of success. It is part of success. Failing does not make you weak. Failing does not mean you are behind. Failing is evidence that you are active, ambitious, and moving in the right direction. The way you respond to failure determines your future more than the failure itself. Those who give up see failure as a stop sign. Those who succeed see it as a guide, a signal to learn, adjust, and continue. Learning to fail without losing confidence is one of the most powerful skills you can develop. It teaches resilience, courage, and humility. It shows you that your value is not determined by your mistakes, but by your ability to rise each time you fall. Failure is not the end. It is the beginning of wisdom, growth, and true achievement. Every failure is a step closer to your potential. Every mistake is a lesson waiting to be learned. And every time you try again, you are proving to yourself that your imperfections do not define you. They empower you. Chapter 4. Why you compare yourself to others. One of the biggest reasons people feel imperfect, inadequate, or unworthy is because they compare themselves to others. From a young age, society teaches us to measure our value against what others have, what others achieve, and how others appear. This comparison can quietly creep into every part of life. And today, social media makes it even worse. With every scroll, you see pictures of smiling faces, exotic vacations, perfect bodies, or career achievements, and your mind whispers, "Why am I not like them? Why is my life so ordinary?" But here is the truth. What you see on social media is only a carefully curated highlight reel. You don't see the struggles behind the posts, the stress, the sleepless nights, the failures, the loneliness, and the countless mistakes that made their journey human. Comparing your life to someone else's is like comparing your behind-the-scenes reality to someone else's stage performance. It will always feel unfair because the truth is hidden. Everyone has struggles that no one talks about. Everyone has fears that no one sees. Everyone has challenges that they quietly face every day. Even those who look perfect have scars, insecurities, and doubts. And the more you focus on someone else's highlight moments, the more you ignore your own progress, your own journey, and your own victories, no matter how small they may seem. The moment you stop comparing yourself to others, you begin to heal. You stop measuring your worth by someone else's standards. You stop trying to fit into a life that is not yours. Instead, you begin to focus on your own path, your own growth, and your own strengths. You start to notice the small steps you are taking, the resilience you show when times are hard, and the courage you demonstrate simply by continuing to move forward. This shift in perspective changes everything. It removes the weight of envy, jealousy, and self-doubt. It allows you to embrace your life as it is while working toward the life you want to create. Nobody has your story. Nobody has walked your path. Nobody has felt your challenges, endured your struggles, or celebrated your victories. Nobody has your heart, your mind, or your unique combination of experiences. That is your superpower. That is your strength. When you understand this, comparison becomes meaningless. You realize that no one can live your life for you, and no one else can achieve your potential because your life is yours alone. So why compare? Why waste energy wishing to be someone else when your own journey is full of lessons, growth, and opportunities? Walk your own path, step by step, day by day, with pride. Celebrate the small victories, learn from the mistakes, and honor the process of becoming the best version of yourself. The only person you should compete with is the person you were yesterday. Focus on your improvement, your courage, and your perseverance. Comparison is a thief of joy, but self-awareness and self-appreciation are the keys to freedom. Remember, your journey is unique. Your challenges are unique. Your dreams are unique. And your victories, when they come, will be yours alone. Stop looking at others. Stop measuring your worth by someone else's story. Step into your life fully. Embrace your imperfections and walk forward with confidence and pride. Your path is yours to own, and every step you take is a victory in itself. Chapter 5. Accepting yourself is the first step to growth. Self-acceptance is one of the most powerful tools you can have in life. Yet many people misunderstand it. They think that accepting themselves means giving up, settling for less, or ignoring the need to improve. Nothing could be further from the truth. Self-acceptance does not mean surrendering. It does not mean laziness or passivity. It means seeing yourself clearly, understanding where you are right now, and acknowledging your strengths and weaknesses without harsh judgment. It means saying to yourself, "I am not perfect, and that is okay." This is not weakness. It is the first and most important step toward real growth. When you accept yourself, something extraordinary happens. You remove the fear that has held you back for years. The fear of failure, the fear of judgment, and the fear of making mistakes start to lose their power over you. You no longer need to hide behind masks or pretend to be someone you are not. Instead, you can take action freely, without worrying about whether you look perfect or impress everyone around you. Accepting yourself gives you permission to try, to fail, and to grow. It frees you from the chains of unrealistic expectations and allows you to focus on the only person who matters in your journey: you. Acceptance also changes how you view your flaws. When you stop hating or fearing your imperfections, you begin to see them as guides. They point to areas where you can learn, improve, and develop new strengths. Every mistake becomes a lesson. Every weakness becomes an opportunity to grow stronger. Growth becomes easier because it is no longer fueled by shame or self-criticism. It is fueled by curiosity, courage, and self-love. You begin to approach life not with fear, but with excitement. You see challenges as invitations to improve, rather than threats to your self-worth. Now, you can practice this mindset by speaking to yourself with honesty and kindness. You can say, "Yes, I make mistakes. Yes, I am not perfect. But yes, I will grow. Yes, I will try again. Yes, I will take the next step." These simple words carry incredible power. They remind you that imperfection is not a limitation. They remind you that every effort, no matter how small, brings you closer to your goals. And they remind you that your worth is not determined by how flawless you appear, but by how committed you are to becoming the best version of yourself. Self-acceptance is not just a mental exercise. It is the foundation for lasting confidence. When you accept yourself, you no longer seek validation from others. You no longer compare yourself unnecessarily. You trust your process, respect your journey, and believe in your ability to grow. This foundation makes you unstoppable. No external setback, criticism, or failure can shake the person who knows and accepts themselves. You gain a sense of stability, purpose, and inner strength that cannot be taken away. So remember, self-acceptance is not weakness. It is the strongest foundation you can build in your life. It allows you to face your imperfections, embrace your challenges, and step forward with courage. It transforms fear into action, doubt into confidence, and mistakes into lessons. Accept yourself today, exactly as you are, and you will find that the path to growth is not only possible, it is exciting, empowering, and full of opportunity. Chapter 6. Your mistakes are your teachers. Mistakes are often feared, avoided, and hidden. From childhood, many people are taught that mistakes are bad, that they are embarrassing, or that they define who we are. This fear of mistakes grows over time, creating a barrier between us and our potential. We stop trying new things, we avoid challenges, and we protect ourselves from judgment. But what if I told you that mistakes are not your enemies? What if I told you that every mistake carries a hidden message, a lesson, and a direction? Mistakes are not meant to shame you. They are meant to teach you. They are the most honest teachers you will ever have. A mistake is like a mirror. When you make one, it reflects back to you the areas that need attention. It shows you where your habits are weak, where your understanding is incomplete, or where your approach needs improvement. Without mistakes, you would not know which weaknesses to strengthen, which skills to develop, or which patterns to change. Every failure, every error, and every misstep carries valuable information about your journey. Ignoring this information is like walking blindfolded. You may continue, but your path will be slower, harder, and filled with unnecessary struggles. Great learners, achievers, and masters of their craft are not exceptional because they are naturally smarter than others. They are exceptional because they listen to their mistakes. They study them, reflect on them, and let them guide their next actions. A person who embraces mistakes grows faster than a person who avoids them. Every misstep becomes a step forward. Every error becomes a lesson, and every failure becomes a foundation for future success. The key is not to avoid mistakes, but to analyze them, understand them, and use them as stepping stones toward improvement. When you stop fearing mistakes, a transformation occurs. You start learning faster because you are no longer distracted by shame or fear. You begin to experiment, try new strategies, and test yourself in ways you could not before. Each mistake becomes a signal, pointing you toward better methods, smarter decisions, and stronger habits. The fear that once slowed you down is replaced by curiosity, courage, and a willingness to grow. You become unstoppable not because you never fail, but because failure no longer stops you. Learning to see mistakes as teachers also changes your mindset about life. You begin to understand that perfection is not the goal. Growth is. Progress is made not by avoiding errors, but by engaging with them, understanding them, and improving because of them. When you make a mistake, you gain insight. When you reflect on it, you gain wisdom. And when you apply that wisdom, you gain power. Mistakes stop being obstacles and start becoming tools. Tools that guide you toward strength, mastery, and achievement. So, the next time you feel ashamed of a mistake or discouraged by failure, remember this. Your mistakes are not proof of weakness. They are proof that you are alive, trying, and learning. They are your personal teachers, always ready to show you what you need to know. When you embrace them, listen to them, and grow from them, nothing can stop you. Every mistake becomes a lesson, every lesson becomes growth, and every bit of growth brings you closer to the strongest version of yourself. Chapter 7. You are not behind. You are on your own time. Many people feel imperfect because they believe they are moving too slowly in life. They look at their peers, friends, or colleagues and compare their achievements, milestones, or progress. Why haven't I done what they have done? They ask. Why am I not as successful, as confident, or as happy? This feeling of being behind can create stress, anxiety, and self-doubt. It can make you question your worth and question whether you are on the right path. But the truth is simple. Life is not a race. Life is a journey, and every journey follows its own rhythm. Each person has their own timing. Everyone grows at their own pace. Some people bloom early. They find their passion, their purpose, or their success at a young age. Others bloom later, after years of struggle, learning, and preparation. But every flower blooms in its own season, and every person's life unfolds in a unique pattern. Comparing your timeline with someone else's is like comparing the sunrise in one city to the sunset in another. It simply does not make sense. You cannot measure your journey against someone else's without misunderstanding the beauty of your own process. You are not late. You are not behind. You are exactly where you need to be to learn what you need to learn. Every experience, every challenge, and every delay in your path is shaping you into the person you are meant to become. The struggles you face today are preparing you for tomorrow. The lessons you are learning now will serve you when you reach opportunities that others might not yet understand. Growth is not always visible immediately, but it is always happening. Even when you feel stuck, even when progress seems slow, you are evolving, learning, and improving in ways that will reveal themselves over time. Patience is one of the most powerful skills you can develop in this process. When you rush, when you panic, or when you compare yourself to others, you lose focus, clarity, and confidence. But when you are patient with yourself, you create space to grow at your natural pace. You begin to trust your journey, to appreciate the lessons along the way, and to understand that timing is not a flaw but a feature of life. Every step you take, no matter how small, contributes to the life you are building. Every day you keep going is a day closer to the person you are destined to become. Remember, life is a series of seasons. Some seasons are fast, bright, and full of visible success. Other seasons are slow, quiet, and full of invisible preparation. Neither is wrong. Both are necessary. You are not failing or lagging. You are growing. You are learning the skills, building the character, and gaining the wisdom that will serve you for the rest of your life. Your time is your own, and it is unfolding exactly as it should. So, the next time you feel impatient with your progress, remind yourself, you are on your own time. You are becoming something better every single day, even if you cannot see it yet. Trust your journey, honor your pace, and embrace the process. When you stop comparing yourself to others and start trusting your own timing, you will find peace, confidence, and the courage to grow without fear. You are right where you need to be, and your best days are still ahead. Chapter 8. Why trying to be perfect makes you unhappy. Perfection sounds beautiful. It looks impressive, feels safe, and society often tells us it is the goal we must reach. Many people spend their entire lives chasing it, trying to look perfect, act perfect, and achieve perfect results. But here is the truth. Perfection is not real. It is an illusion, a standard that does not exist in the real world. No human can ever be completely flawless, completely confident, or completely in control. The pursuit of perfection may seem noble at first, but in reality, it is one of the fastest ways to drain your happiness, your energy, and your peace of mind. When you try to be perfect, the expectations you place on yourself become unbearable. Every small mistake, every missed opportunity, every misstep feels like a failure. You begin to criticize yourself constantly. No action feels good enough. No achievement feels complete. Even your victories are tainted because your mind focuses on what is not yet perfect, rather than celebrating what you have accomplished. Over time, this pressure builds, your mind becomes tired, and your heart becomes heavy. Happiness begins to fade. Life feels like a performance rather than an experience. The problem is not with your actions. The problem is with the idea that you must be perfect to be worthy or to succeed. This idea is a trap. It keeps you stuck in fear, prevents you from taking risks, and robs you of the joy that comes from living fully. Chasing perfection is like chasing the horizon. You may run endlessly, but you will never reach it. No amount of effort will make you flawless, because perfection is not a destination. It is an illusion. But there is an alternative, a better way to live. Progress is real. Growth is real. Small steps forward are real. You can improve, you can learn, and you can become stronger without demanding perfection from yourself. Every time you take action, try something new, or correct a mistake, you are making progress. Every day that you focus on learning and growing, you are moving closer to the person you want to become. This focus on progress allows you to celebrate small wins, appreciate your efforts, and feel joy in the journey rather than waiting for some impossible endpoint. Choosing progress over perfection changes everything. Life becomes lighter. Your mind becomes calmer. Your heart feels freer. You stop performing for approval and start living for growth and experience. You learn to accept mistakes, enjoy the learning process, and find satisfaction in doing your best without needing to be flawless. Happiness begins to return because you are no longer trapped in a cycle of self-criticism and unrealistic expectation. You discover that living fully, even imperfectly, is far more rewarding than chasing a perfect life that does not exist. So, the next time you feel the pressure to be perfect, pause and remember this. Perfection is a myth, but progress is real. Growth is real. Small steps are real. Embrace your imperfections. Celebrate your efforts. Take action without fear. When you stop performing and start living, you will find peace, freedom, and true happiness. Life becomes easier, brighter, and more joyful the moment you let go of perfection and focus on progress instead. Chapter 9. The Beauty of Being Human. Your imperfections are not weaknesses. They are what make you human. They are what make you real, relatable, and beautiful in a way that perfection never could. Every flaw, every mistake, every moment of uncertainty is part of the story that only you can tell. People do not connect with flawless appearances or perfect performances. They connect with honesty, vulnerability, and authenticity. When you embrace who you are, imperfections and all, you give others permission to do the same. You remind them that it is okay to be human, to struggle, to stumble, and to keep moving forward. Being human means understanding that life is not about avoiding failure, but about learning from it. It is about laughing at your mistakes instead of crying over them, and about rising after you fall rather than pretending you never did. Every misstep you take teaches you something new. Every failure, every awkward moment, every embarrassing situation contributes to your growth, your resilience, and your wisdom. These experiences shape you into a person who can inspire, lead, and relate to others in ways that someone perfect could never do. Your struggles are part of your strength. They make your journey authentic and your victories meaningful. Sharing your struggles openly can have a powerful impact. When you admit your weaknesses, your fears, or your failures, you give others courage. You show them that it is normal to face challenges, and that strength comes not from perfection, but from persistence. You show them that imperfection is not something to hide. It is something to embrace. This honesty builds connections, empathy, and trust. People remember those who were real, not those who appeared flawless. Your story, with all its ups and downs, has the power to inspire others in ways that polished success never could. Being human also means understanding your worth beyond achievements and appearances. You do not need to be perfect to be worthy. You do not need to be flawless to be loved. You do not need to have it all together to succeed. Your value does not come from avoiding mistakes. It comes from facing life courageously, learning and growing along the way. Every step you take, no matter how imperfect, contributes to your personal journey and your unique place in the world. Accepting your humanity allows you to live fully, love deeply, and grow continuously. The beauty of being human lies in your ability to experience life fully. Joy, pain, success, failure, laughter, tears, growth, and change. These experiences give depth and meaning to your life. They teach you empathy, compassion, and understanding for yourself and others. When you stop striving for an impossible ideal of perfection, you open your heart to the richness of life. You learn to celebrate your victories, forgive your mistakes, and find strength in your vulnerability. So remember, you only need to be real. You only need to embrace your humanity. Your imperfections do not define your limits. They define your depth. They make you relatable, inspiring, and powerful. The moment you accept yourself fully, with all your flaws and strengths, you discover a beauty that perfection could never offer. You are human. You are real. You are enough. And that is what truly makes you beautiful. Chapter 10. Nobody is perfect, and that is your power. At the end of this journey, there is one truth that you must carry with you every day. Nobody is perfect. Not the people you admire, not the people you follow, not even the people who seem to have it all together. Every human being, no matter how strong, successful, or confident, has flaws, makes mistakes, and faces challenges. And that is the most powerful realization you can ever have. Because if perfection is not real, then you are not failing by being imperfect. In fact, your imperfections are the key to your growth, your courage, and your success. You do not need to be perfect to start. So many people delay their dreams because they feel they are not ready, not skilled enough, or not worthy. They wait for a moment when everything will be flawless. But that moment never comes. You start where you are, with what you have, and with who you are. Every action, even if imperfect, moves you forward. Every small effort builds experience, skill, and confidence. Waiting for perfection only delays your journey. Embrace your beginning, and you embrace your power. You do not need to be perfect to grow. Growth is not about flawless performance. It is about learning, adapting, and improving. Every mistake teaches you something new. Every challenge pushes you beyond your comfort zone. Every failure becomes a stepping stone toward resilience and wisdom. The fear of imperfection often keeps people small, safe, and stagnant. But when you accept that growth comes through trial, error, and perseverance, you unlock your potential. Your journey becomes an adventure, not a burden, and every day is an opportunity to become a stronger, wiser version of yourself. You do not need to be perfect to achieve something amazing. History is full of people who accomplished great things despite failures, doubts, and setbacks. They succeeded not because they were flawless, but because they kept moving forward, learning from their imperfections and embracing the process. Every imperfect step you take is still movement forward. Every mistake you make is still part of your growth. Every failure you experience is still part of your success. Progress, not perfection, is the real measure of achievement. The moment you stop trying to be perfect is the moment your real life begins. You stop living in fear. You stop comparing yourself to others. You stop waiting for approval or validation. You start living fully, embracing your humanity, and pursuing your purpose with courage and authenticity. You discover freedom, joy, and confidence that perfection could never provide. You realize that your flaws do not limit you. They guide you, teach you, and make you unique. So, be brave, my friend. Be real. Be you. Show up imperfectly, but consistently. Make mistakes, learn from them, and keep moving forward. Trust your journey, honor your progress, and celebrate your growth. You are enough, just as you are. Your imperfections are not obstacles. They are your power. Your story is yours alone, and it is just getting started. Remember, nobody is perfect, and that is your greatest strength. Embrace it. Use it. Let it drive you toward a life that is authentic, courageous, and full of meaning. The world does not need you to be perfect. It needs you to be real. It needs you to try, to grow, and to inspire. Your journey begins now, and every imperfect step you take is a victory. Keep moving forward. Keep believing. Keep becoming. Final words. Your imperfection is your beginning. My friend, if there is one message I want you to carry from this video, it is this. Your imperfections are not a reason to feel weak, ashamed, or stuck. They are not the reason you fail. In fact, they are the reason you grow. Every flaw, every mistake, every moment of fear or doubt is an opportunity for learning, strength, and transformation. People spend their whole lives trying to hide the parts of themselves that are not perfect. They try to look confident, successful, and strong on the outside while struggling quietly on the inside. But the ones who truly rise, the ones who succeed, and the ones who change their lives are those who embrace their imperfections and use them as fuel to move forward. You do not need to wait for the perfect moment. You do not need to wait for perfect confidence or complete clarity. You do not need to feel fully ready to start. Every journey begins with a single step, and that step does not need to be perfect. Start now. Start small. Start imperfect. Because imperfect action will always beat perfect intention. Even the smallest effort, taken consistently, creates momentum, builds confidence, and sets you on the path to growth. Remember, nobody is perfect. Not the people you admire, not the people you follow, and not even the people who teach you. The difference between those who move forward and those who remain stuck is simple. Some people try, even while imperfect. Some people grow, even while scared. Some people rise, even while shaking. And this is exactly what I want you to remember from English Achieve. Your imperfections do not hold you back. They are the beginning of your power. Your journey is not meant to be flawless. It is meant to be real. Every small step you take today shapes your future self. Every mistake you make strengthens your character. Every challenge you face builds resilience and courage. Walk forward with confidence, not because you are perfect, but because you are willing to grow. This is your power. This is your path, and your story is only beginning. Thank you for being here with English Achieve. Stay with us, keep learning, and keep growing. Your best days are not behind you. They are ahead. Every day is an opportunity to embrace your imperfections, take action, and become the person you were meant to be. Let's reach those days together.